testing these 19 new makeup products in multiple ways, with multiple wear tests, multiple products, and in multiple different styles of application. I am finally ready to give you my final thoughts on these products. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I have a promise here where if you see me try a new product, I will be getting back to you with a final review in a speed review style video. Every single new product that I try lands in front of me in my speed review drawer, which you might have just heard me open, and it stays in there until I'm ready to give you guys my final review in a video like this, and then these products get their way over to my main population of products. So I was just ready. There are some products that are pretty new here that I quickly got acquainted with, and some products that have been in my drawers for a while. So let's go ahead and get into it. I have 3 different primers to share with you. For reference of my skin type, you guys, I am like so disgustingly dry right now. I have that dry winter skin, scaly. I'm going through it. My hands are dry. I need some hydration in the air, let me tell you. So that is why I've actually been loving this first product that I have to share with you. This is the One Size B12 Base Thinner Vitamin Pearl Serum. This is a phenomenal product. I've used base thinner style products before that just didn't wow me. This wows me. So I actually like this because you can use it as an actual primer for makeup as well. It's very thin, very hydrating. It soaks into the skin fast and it leaves such a pretty glow. But I feel it actually does effectively thin the product that I mix it with. A really great product that I used this with was the ABH foundation, the new one. It's a bit thicker, it's more matte, which isn't great for the condition that my skin is in right now. And this baby really does change the consistency of it. I notice it being thinner. I notice it being more hydrating for my skin. Very effective product. It just launched and it's awesome. Another hydration product that my skin has been thoroughly enjoying is the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Glow Serum. They did recently expand the range of colors and I picked up the shade Fresh Press. Now, I don't know if a shade extension was necessary because this is very, very sheer. There's very minimal difference between this one and Main Squeeze, the shade that I had before. I didn't need both, but I do enjoy this formula a lot. This would be better if you're definitely very fair and cool undertone. I like it because it's very thin, very hydrating. It's a little thinner and more watery than the one side that I just mentioned. But if you are dry and want something that's going to leave a pretty glow without being glittery, this is fantastic. It looks amazing on its own if you just want to look like you have a shot of hydration on your face without even putting anything over top. This looks amazing. I've reviewed this multiple times on my channel, but I did want to update you that this new updated shade, I wasn't sure, and I didn't need it. I am sure I didn't need it. I'm not mad though because I do love the product so much. The last primer that I have is from Dominique Cosmetics. She did launch 2 primers. I'm still kind of getting to know the other one, but I do have my final thoughts on the Moisture Grip Serum Primer. It feels lovely and thick and hydrating when first applied, and I do feel that grippiness, but it goes away so fast. It's almost like I never really applied it, so I just don't find it to be as effective as other primers that I've tried where I feel like the hydration lasts. This one in like 30 seconds, the hydration is gone and the grip is gone. So as good as it feels to apply, it doesn't last very long, unfortunately. On me, these are all, of course, my own personal experiences. I've tried really hard to get to know this Urban Decay Face Bond Luminizer. They sent me the whole range. There's a couple that I gave away here that I didn't think I would use, and I've just decided I don't like this product. I like the formula of it because I feel like it's a really great luminizing formula for oily skin. It's not heavy or greasy or oily. It has a dry down, so it's gonna last a long time, making it great for oily skin. But I don't like the actual color and the glimmers that are in here. It looks sparkly on my face. It's not really luminized for me. It's glittery, kind of metallic, emphasizes dry patches, and when I put it on over top of makeup, it just kind of soaks right into the makeup. I don't really see it, and then when it's underneath the makeup just on bare skin, I just don't like what it does to my skin. So it's unfortunate because the formula I think is nice. It's just like the glitters, the colors, the type of luminization that it gives. I'm trying to think of the word. I think I just made that up. But the type of glow it gives, I don't like. Okay? So I don't really recommend these. I do have one foundation. There's a few that I'm testing right now, but a lot of my focus, for some reason, I've just been grabbing for this one the most. This is the Dior Forever Hydra Nude foundation that is available at Ulta, but not at Sephora, and of course the Dior website. So this is their newest member of the family, and I really wanted to try it because, in my opinion, Dior has the best foundations on the market. What I will say is this is not Dior's best foundation. However, because Dior does such a good job with their foundation, it still is a very, very nice foundation. So it doesn't give like a glow that I thought it would. This is the Hydra Nude, and it's not hydrating, but it's kind of just like a flat, normal finish. Not glowy, not matte at all. Right there in the middle. It gives a light to medium coverage, especially on the lighter side of medium. It looks and feels very lightweight on the skin, but it just doesn't have the it factor that I feel like a lot of other Dior foundations have. So I will continue to use this. I love how lightweight this feels on the skin for every day, but I just feel like Dior has other foundations that have that wow factor. This, while an awesome foundation, is not wow compared to other Dior foundations, but if you are in particular looking for a foundation that doesn't feel like anything on the skin, then you might want to give this one a try. That's kind of where this stands out. It's that it's like feather light on the skin. One thing I will say, Dominique Cosmetics does not agree with this foundation, and that is not a good sign because Dior foundations, I never have an issue of pairing it with other products, so I think that speaks loudly about this. I haven't had too much issues with this being funky with other products, but it was real funky with this. They were not jiving today on the skin. Let's keep it pushing for Kosas, who is really piggybacking on the success of their Revealer Concealer, and they came out with the Revealer Extra Bright Color Corrector. Now, I do have Fantasy and Illusion. Illusion is the shade that I would recommend if you have a similar skin tone to myself. This is a very nice color corrector, and that is a big deal for me to say because I do not like the original Revealer Concealer. I feel like the concealer, not this, but the concealer version of this, it sits heavy on my under eyes. It creases like a mofo. This, I feel like I typically use my color correctors in smaller quantities anyways, and because it's more hydrating, it actually works better, this formulation, as an underlayer, as a color corrector. So I've enjoyed the hydration layer this has given me, but allowing my favorite concealer formula to kind of take over. Today I used NARS Radiant Creamy over top, and I'm not creasing too bad at all. So like this formula for a color corrector way more than an actual concealer. Now, I don't know if they're the exact same formulations. I'd probably imagine there's some differences here, but it has to absolutely be inspired by that original Revealer Concealer, which I was not a fan of. But in color corrector form, very creamy, very hydrating. I've been enjoying these a lot. I'm quick to get this review up because I've used it almost every day since I've gotten it. These are the Rare Beauty Liquid Contours, and I think that they are phenomenal. For my skin color, my skin tone, mellow is the way to go. I did also pick up Solace. It's a bit deep for me. Maybe with a little bit of a tan, I will like it a little bit more, but mellow is the perfect shade for me. This is everything you'd expect it to be if you're a fan of the liquid blushes. It has the same consistency, similar level of pigment, but I think it's a little easier to work with than the blushes because it's a less harsh color, with it being not like vibrant orange or vibrant pink. So it's definitely more forgiving on the face in terms of that pigment level. I don't know, it has like almost a powdered dry down, very easy to use, blends out great, great color. My only thing with this, I don't like the packaging of this top, which I know a lot of people love. I want to be able to like set it down because I go by sections of my face to make sure it doesn't get patchy. And with this packaging, and that makes it a bit difficult. Might be a very, very personal problem here, but that's just what I found a little inconvenient about the packaging. But the formula, I just spit everywhere, but the formula is really, really good. If you've been thinking about it, I do recommend it. Okay, let's get into Blush Central. We only have 4 today, but you know, 2024, 2025, It's a lot of blushes. So this one is an older formula. It's kind of sat in my collection or my speed reviews drawer for a while because I didn't really want to use it, and that says a lot about the product. So these are the Hard Candy Face Off Liquid Blushes. So these I would say are more like a blush stain. They do stain, so they do have decent longevity, very thin, very watery. Do not, I repeat, do not apply the applicator itself directly to your face because it will peel off your foundation. The best way to apply these is to run it on the back of your hand, spread it out a little bit, take a brush, and then apply it, and it doesn't disrupt the foundation underneath, and it has very nice longevity. I did demo the shade Girl Crush. It's very pretty, but then I have a big old blotch of blush stain on my hand for the rest of the day. I do not like that this has to be applied in such a specific way. It's fine, you can get it to work. I do find like the shade Double Take doesn't appear on my skin tone at all, which isn't preferable for a formula. I mean, it could be fine for somebody very, very fair, but these do sheer out a lot, more than I would like for them to. The problem is, if it's not a great blush formula, there's no point in using it because there are so many great blush formulations out there on the market that this is absolutely not a standout product. Workable, but that first time you use it, if you apply it to the face, it's gonna mess up your foundation. Next up, I have the Bosma blush, and this is a specific shade that they did in collaboration with Beyonce's makeup artist, and it is the shade Pink Yet Coral, which did sell out at Sephora, and this shade is stunning. This formula is stunning, and it's true. Like, is it pink? Is it coral? It does not look nearly as bright in the pan as it does on the cheek. Hopefully you'll see in the demo how beautifully that just blurred over the cheek. I mean, what a gorgeous formulation. I see why this shade sold out. You can still pick it up at the Bosma website, but they did a fabulous job with this color. I think it is gorgeous, and that formulation. Also, very quickly became ready to give you my review on the Natasha Denona High Blush, hold on, it's a long name, I gotta, High Blush Cloudy Cream Cheek Duos. So I was very kindly sent all 6 shades in the mail. They might regret that now because you don't need all 6 shades. So let me talk about the formula first. I actually quite love the blush. I think it's really beautiful, blurred, great putty formulation, but a little creamier than most putty formulations. Stunning formula. The highlights leave a little bit to be desired. They're okay, they don't mess up anything underneath. They don't have that wow factor, if you ask me. Now, I'm not typically a fan of liquid or cream highlights. These are fine, they get the job done, but I'd still prefer it to be a powder formulation. My biggest issue with this is I don't really like the colors that they chose for this. They're very, very bright pink and warm, and a lot of them look very similar on the cheek. This is the kind of thing where, like, if you think you would like the formula, it's definitely worth picking up a singular shade, but anything beyond that, there's just not going to be enough difference on the cheek to warrant the price point, and I would love to see more neutral tones as well. So not a fan of the color range here, but the formula is fine. Also, we have the YSL Make Me Blush Powder Blush. I was going to say duos, I just happen to have 2, but I picked these up from Sephora, and unfortunately, these are a phenomenal formulation. I mean, it's hard to create a bad blush formula nowadays, I have to say. These brands got it down, but this one has that little extra sprinkle of fairy dust in it because of how silky it applies to the cheek. It just rolls over the cheek, gives the perfect amount of pigmentation, extremely blendable without blending away. I do not have a single bad thing to say about this. This is truly an embodiment of luxury makeup here. From this gorgeous packaging to this gorgeous silky formula, you're getting what you pay for. Now, am I going to say that these are worth it and you need to have it? No, you do not need to pay this price point for a blush. There's so many amazing blush formulations. But if you want to pay the luxury price point for a blush that's luxury with luxury packaging and luxury quality, I think you will enjoy these. I think they are stunning. And I love both of the shades that I picked up. This is 44 and this is 93. Phenomenal. I also did pick up the I also did pick up the newest shade of the Easy Bake Loose Setting Powder from Huda Beauty, Ube Birthday Cake. I think it's because I'm Asian. I just got excited about the ube here of it all. It also has the new updated packaging, which is fine. It's definitely more young. I got it just to get it. I didn't need it. I saw that this probably wasn't going to work for me. This is best, especially for like medium skin tones with a cool undertone. I think this will be phenomenal on you. On me, it looks like I put a very unflattering color underneath my eyes, which is my own fault. This is not meant for all skin tones, but dang, I wanted it to be. And how good marketing is Huda Beauty to be able to get us all to purchase a shade of a powder that really isn't made for us. And like me, I knew it wasn't gonna be, but I give it a try anyways. Now I can make this work with the correct look, but if I'm just putting this on the daily, I'm gonna look a little funky. If you're my skin tone and you want that kind of purpley pinky under eye, Cherry Blossom Cake from Huda Beauty is gonna be a lot more flattering on you. Also, this is like the best setting powder on the market, loose version wise anyways. So formula's great. Just do your homework and buy the shade that's actually going to work for you. That's it for complexion. We're going to move on to our small eye section here. So Benefit, I'm going to say relaunched the Mighty Fine Brow Pen. They went back to the lab here because this is a little 3-prong brow marker, and this is not the first time they've come out with this. A couple years ago, they came out with a 3-prong marker like this, and it did not go over well. I hated it. I couldn't get any ink from it, and they kind of erased it from the internet and tried to erase it from our memories. It kind of worked on me until I remembered, wait, no, we've seen this before. But they actually did relaunch a much better version. This is phenomenal, honestly, and I don't typically like a brow marker. I use the shade 4.5, and what this is great for is getting those faux hair strokes. So I'm not using this on the daily, but today I did put in my Rare Beauty brow gel, which really does a good job of separating each brow hair and setting them down. So I noticed with that particular brow gel spoolie, it kind of leaves little gaps in between my brows sometimes. So that's when this is the perfect product. It's also phenomenal if you're somebody who has to draw in the inner hairs. This will do the hard work for you, I'm telling you. So let me just say, they really did improve this. This is 1,000 million billion% better than the first version of this. I won't use a product of this style too often, but for what they did, it's awesome. And I think I'm gonna use a product like that more often because of how good it is. My current coffee hyperfixation, a mocha. Just put a little bit of hot chocolate powder in there. Okay, so I have some eyeshadow sticks, which you know, I am a self-proclaimed eyeshadow stick expert. So these are from the holiday collection, so they've been out for a while. These are an older item. From MAC, the Chroma Crayon Eyeshadow Sticks. So these are the 3 that I got. I have 2 of them on my eyelids. Which ones? So on the inner part of my eye, I have high topes. And then on the outer part and on my lower lash line, I have bubblegum. They don't do it for me. They swatch a lot prettier than they apply. They kind of look patchy and see-through on my eyelid. Do yourself a favor, just pick up the Laura Mercier. These, they don't do it for me. They have like glitters and stuff in there and reflex in there, which I thought I would enjoy. But I think in the end, it just made my eyelid look grainy and patchy. So yeah, I was not a fan of these, unfortunately. The wear time's okay. L'Oreal, I'm feeling like I'm seeing a lot of ads on these. This is the Paradise Big Deal Mascara. Don't buy it. I have little black crumbs of fallout on my face because of this. The mascara itself, the formulation is fine. I think it adds a little bit of length. Not too much in the volume department, but you know, it makes my lashes visible. It holds a curl really nicely. It feels very lightweight on the lashes. Just flakes way too much, like all over my face. Like one of the worst flaking mascaras, honestly. Just saying. So we don't recommend that one. I wanted to like it. I did like it until I wore it for more than an hour. Okay, we're moving on to the lip category. Smaller than usual, only 4. I have 2 lip liner formulations. These first ones are from I don't know why I'm struggling with that, Lancome. It's the Idol Lip Shaper. So These are phenomenal. I love them. They're very creamy. They set down. They last a long time. I've been using the shade Don't Be Shy the most. Currently, I'm wearing Rosy Nude, which is kind of warm looking, isn't it? But that's what I'm wearing. All of the shades that I have, Nude Now as well. These are very pretty, like pinky colors. So they are going to give some brightness to the face. Very nice. They have a little bit more slip in application compared to Charlotte Tilbury, just to give you a comparison point here. But they're super nice. The other formula that I have is from Smashbox. These are the Be Legendary Line and Prime Pencil. Honestly, the only shade of the three that I swatched for you, medium brown, is the one that I've been wearing. It's a nice shade. A little too slippy for me. It has decent wear time as well, not quite as good as the Lancome that I just mentioned, but these are a get the job done kind of formula, but they aren't crawling into my top list of favorites. So I don't really see myself reaching for these in particular unless I want a specific color. I wouldn't really recommend them. Like, they're fine, but don't put your money towards that. Put it towards a better formula, in my opinion. That made it sound like I didn't like them. It's not that I don't like them. It's just that I'm still sticking to my favorites after using these. Oh, these are going to be in this month's favorites. I have fallen in love with the Too Faced Pillow Balm Lip Treatments. I gave some colors away and I'm regretting it, though I shouldn't because I don't need it anymore. These are phenomenal. They really are like a liquid lip balm, so they don't have too much glow, but they still have just enough. Deeply hydrating, very comfortable, not sticky at all. And I love the color Pink Pineapple Kiss. This with Nude Now from Lancome has been my go-to everyday color this last month. Right now, I'm putting on Juicy Watermelon Kiss to give some brightness over that Lancome. Decent pigmentation, these colorful ones, and they smell really great. They have that nostalgic, very childlike, fruity, artificial scent, which I know some people are not a fan of. I, for one, am. Love it. Love the colors here. They just recently expanded the color range. If you're looking for something deeply nourishing but can still give you some color to the face, almost looks like a gloss, maybe not quite as glossy or shiny, phenomenal. These are so hydrating. And they're thick enough to where they sit on the lips for a long time as well. Obsessed with those. I just want to keep talking about them because I like them so much. And then the last formula that I have is the new formula from Makeup by Mario, the Super Shine Lip Glosses. Really lovely formula, very thick, very glossy, not sticky. Just not a formula that you need a ton of shades in because these do run very, very sheer. While I am grateful for the shades that they sent, a lot of them look similar on the lips, you know. My favorite shade has probably been Dragon Fruit. Today, for the demo, I put on Perfect Pink, but truly, like, the difference between the two are quite minimal. Just pick the undertone that you like the best, but you will enjoy the formula. They're very glossy, very glowy, last a decent amount of time considering that they are a lip gloss after all. Just very sheer. So the wide shade range that they created with this, while the intentions are great and they look pretty, just not as, you can't tell the difference of them on the lips. But there we have it. Those are 19 of the newest makeup products that I feel very comfortable giving you guys a review on because I've been wearing them a lot these last few weeks in some cases. This one and this one, these have been months that they've been sitting in my drawer. So I hope you guys enjoyed this speed reviews. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel if you aren't already. I love making speed reviews so much just because I feel like they are the most useful amount of information that I can get to you in one video if you are curious about products in the market and finding the best product that works for you. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. I'll have all of the links of everything that I talked about linked in the description box. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Have a good one.
It's delicious.